After dropping out from college 6 years ago, I have 298 days left to prove to myself that that was not a massive mistake. Hi, I'm Festival Pyro. I'm 23 years old, I'm working part-time in retail, I'm living with my family, and I'm dedicating the next year to relearning maths and physics from scratch. This is what it actually looks like to start over in your mid-20s. Engineering was never a course I considered, and I thought about many different paths. Once I finally realized this was what I wanted to do, I felt an overwhelming sense of grief over not having seen it sooner. When I was 17, I dropped out of college. The following year, I completed a foundation diploma in art and design at a university in London. For the first time in my life, those choices felt like I was pursuing something for present me, not a version of myself 5 years down the line. But a half-finished computer science BTech and a foundation diploma in art don't exactly open many doors. The years that followed blurred into one, and instead of building a life, I was just trying to keep my head above water. But then something shifted. I had a life-saving surgery, a massive financial scare, and I found myself in the middle of a technical interview asked to complete a task I'd never done before. I wasn't perfect, I didn't even know how to get the CMOS battery out, but I loved it. I loved thinking through the problem, getting stuck, trying again, and in that moment I realized this was what I wanted to do, not just once, but every day as my job. I didn't end up getting hired, but I did leave knowing I wanted to be an electrical technician, maybe even an engineer. But doing that is going to be one of the biggest challenges I ever take on. My first choice was doing an apprenticeship, but for whatever reason, none of the ones I applied to wanted me, so I had to move on to my second choice. And my second choice was simple. Study maths and physics whilst working part-time, then go to university. And so that is exactly what I am doing, or at least trying, because rebuilding your entire academic foundation alongside your mental health whilst working a part-time minimum wage job is never that easy. Studying something as hard as physics after a 7-year academic break also isn't easy. And if I'm being honest, the end goal itself isn't enough to keep me disciplined day to day, but this channel is. It gives me structure when I don't have any, gives me a reason to sit down, open my textbooks and actually study. When I stream, I study. When I plan content, I think about where I'm at and what I need to learn next. Without that external pressure, I don't know if I'd stick with physics at all, to be honest. I do love maths, it comes naturally to me, but physics does not. I struggle with words, and if left to my own devices, I would most definitely just avoid it. And I can't afford to do that, because if I avoid physics, I won't refinish high school. If I don't refinish high school, I won't get into an undergraduate program, and if that doesn't happen, I don't get the job I actually fucking want. I'd love for this channel or editing work to support me financially throughout my studies, not because I want to be some huge YouTuber like the ones I look up to, but because time matters. And if I didn't have to go to a job I don't enjoy, I could stream longer, study longer, and feel a little less alone while doing all of this. I don't have any close friends, I live in a small town where barely anything happens, and I'm not in university yet. Most days it's just me, my tablet, these 2 books, and my beloved PC explaining concepts I've never learned before. The hardest part about that though isn't the material, it's doing it without anyone else around. At work you have colleagues, in school you have other students. Here I don't have that. No one to compare notes with, no one to bounce ideas off of, so when things get tough it is easy to reach for things you know aren't great but that feel like support. Don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely alone. I do have my family, and my sibling is even technically at the exact same stage as me. It's just that, you know, they're at the right age, studying completely different subjects. So it is lonely, but making study content helps give that loneliness somewhere to drift to. I'm about 5 months into this now, everything still feels fresh and new, and I'm hoping to sit my exams in December. If that goes well, the next stop will be a bachelor's degree. After that, who knows? But what I do know is that the odds, my odds, are not great. This path is slow, expensive, incredibly scary, especially when the next step involves moving to another country. I'm documenting this though because I want to show you what it actually looks like, that there isn't just one way of doing things or one path that everyone has to follow. I don't just want to show you the highlights, but also the doubts, the fears, and everything that an adventure like this has in store. So here I am. I don't know how this will go. If I fail, you will see it. If I make it across, you'll see that. But if this channel helps even one person feel less alone or trying to build a better life for themselves, then it will all have been worth it. So hey, I'm Festival Pyro, and welcome to my channel.